Hey there, let's dive into the next struggle of game dev. This time I'm talking about story changes in my roguelike game and how important story even is in a game. The original idea for my game came from a game jam, and to explain it quickly, you play as a demon fighting through the underworld only to be summoned by a wizard for a boss fight. You keep repeating that cycle until the game's over. But when it's actually over? I've been trying to figure that out with different concepts like escaping the underworld for good and breaking the cycle, or going the opposite route and becoming the king or the champion of the underworld. You achieve this by beating the rings of hell, kinda like in Dante's Inferno. But none of these ideas really clicked with me, so I started looking for new settings to fit my game mechanics. But do I even need to stress about the story, or should I just focus on making the game fun? There are different ways to answer this question, but I use this idea of a magical triangle, which appears in many different fields out there, as well as in game design, where each corner of the triangle represents a key factor, in this case graphic and themes, story and gameplay mechanics. But not every game needs to nail all three perfectly. To give you some subjective examples, take PUBG, one of the most successful games in the past decade. It doesn't really have much of a story, other than survive and kill everyone else, and it's not known for being especially pretty, but people play it for the mechanics and the adrenaline rush it gives. Another indie hit from recent years is Potato, where the story is, well, you're a potato fighting in a weird alien arena or something, I don't know, but I love this game. The artwork is solid and the gameplay is super polished. Then you've got games, they are all about looking good and building atmosphere like Journey. So to get back to the point, the story can be important, but it doesn't have to be. Since I'm making a roguelike, I'm not focusing on some deep narrative, but I do want a solid background story to shape the theme and the world design, and to give players some sort of goal. I also want to include optional lore about the enemies and environment for those who are into that kind of thing. The theme matters to me, but it doesn't need to be graphically at a top level for me, because firstly, I don't have the time for that and want to release a playable and fun game at some point. Secondly, gameplay mechanics are what make or break 99% of roguelikes, including mine. So that's a short theory about game story. Now let's get to my new story and setting, which has led to the new game title, World of Theater. The story is to survive your own theater play. With the choices you make along the way, you are the protagonist or antagonist. How will you change over the course of the plot, and will you still be alive at the end, to be or not to be? So you choose a character to get thrown into a random action-packed stage play with the goal of reaching your own happy ending. So over the past few weeks I've been developing the story and theme, working to align them, and now I have a first version of the surrounding theater and a test stage where you can practice player movement. The next step is to create different theater stages for a full playthrough. Connect them in a simple way at first and generate them procedurally with a seed. So until then, cheers!